Nick here with another one for you guys. This is our 2023 Ford F250. This truck did come with the scaling feature, so we'll talk about that here in a second, and I'll show you that on our setup here. So let's go over some details here. Obviously, you see it's this silver color of a truck, and we've got some big wheels underneath it and some wide tires as well. So this is something that is a popular setup, as in look-wise. Everyone has a different way of doing it, and we just felt that we wanted to try this out on some 26s, and so that's what we did. This is our 8-inch kit. Let's go over the suspension first and foremost. So this 8-inch kit is a total of 3 part numbers that you can find on our website, and you can buy from any of our dealers and have installed. The first kit is going to be the 8-inch kit itself, which will include everything to lift the truck 8 inches, as you see here. The second part number is going to be our center cradle setup that's underneath this truck in the center here. And then in the rear, you're going to have another part number, which is going to be the traction bars out back. So between these 3 part numbers, you would be able to build this truck itself. Actually, let me take that back. It also has our steering stabilizer, dual steering stabilizer kit on it too. So that's a 4th part number. And to help you guys out, I will put all this information down in the description. So if you want to emulate this setup, it'll help you figure out exactly what you need to purchase from any of our dealers. So let's start talking about this 8-inch kit. And then we'll get into the wheels and tires after that. So our 8-inch kit is a complete kit, like I was saying, front to back. And it does have progressive front coils for a better ride quality, and it is what's called a 4-link kit. So typically you'll see a radius arm that is on a drop-down bracket and then goes to the front. Well, in this case, you have a 4-link, which is a lower link and a top link. They're independently pivoting at the axle and at the frame, and this helps with the movement of the suspension up and down to keep the axle from rotating, which you would see in a radius arm kit. Radius arms aren't bad, but 4-link is just a step further forward of ride quality and just overall what you get out of it, let alone they look really nice as well. I want to also mention that these kits, these part numbers, main 3 part numbers, are going to include the billet faceplates and the stainless inserts, which we'll go over those colors here in a second as well. But I did want to highlight as just to let you guys know that that is part of the 3 part numbers, so you don't have to buy those separately. They all come in the kit. This kit is designed and set up for someone that obviously is looking for a more personalized look and is building something like this. We also have on here our M84 Reservoir Shocks that we build in-house in valve to our liking to get the best ride quality as possible. And then you'll see, obviously, it comes with brake lines. And this is an upper track bar mount, which drops the track bar. And if you notice down there, that is a drop pivot arm, and that basically equalizes the track bar and the steering link to basically coincide and move together, so you don't get a bunch of feedback through the steering wheel. You also see we have sway bar drop brackets. And then in the rear, the 8-inch kit is going to come with our M84 monotube shocks in the back. And then you have a 6-inch block. And then in our kit, we include these shims that go into the spring pack. And what the shims are developed to do, what we like to do, is offer shims and not a taller block, so then you can fine tune the look within 1/4-inch increments. So if you see here, this one has 4 shims in it, 1/4 inch each. So between the block being 6 inches and then the shims being a 4 stack of 1/4 inches, which is 1 inch, equals 7 inches in the rear. So 8-inch kit up front, 7-inch in the rear. That's where you get your stance. If you want to go up a little bit higher in the back, you could put a couple more shims. And again, I want to point out these shims are not just floating in between the block and the leaf spring pack. They actually go in the leaf spring pack and basically become part of the leaf spring. So if you notice here, you have this center pin. So when you go to install the shims, you pull the factory center pin out, and then you slide these shims, however many you want to put in, and you slide those onto the center pin bolt, and then you slide the center pin bolt into the spring pack, and then cinch it down with the bolt, and now it becomes all one piece to the spring pack itself. So that is what's on the rear of this truck to get the height. Now, if you look at it, you know, depending on what you're after, this thing is sitting pretty damn level. Some people might want it a little bit higher, which then you can add, you know, 1 or 2 more shims, which in another 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch, just to get it a little bit higher in the rear. But for the most part, this thing is pretty dead nuts level. But with these big wide tires, it gives the look of a little bit more bolder up front. Again, fine tune to your liking. Everyone has a personal style and look that they're after, and our kits are designed to allow you to do that. So at the end of the day, our hopes is that you'll find our product valuable, so then you can lift your truck and then basically choose your color and personalize it in your personal way. So let's look at the dual steering stabilizer kit. You see that right there, M84 series monotube shocks up front for that. And then let's get into what we did with the color here. So since this truck was silver, and this kit is offered in either black or raw, and we decided to offset the silver truck with what's called Bengal silver powder coat. So the full kit, coil springs, 4-link, brackets, center bracket, and traction bars, all that is all Bengal silver. And then what we did was, this red right back here is the stainless plates that will be on the back side, and we did those in a what's called a metallic red, and because they're stainless steel, polished stainless, you know, plates, it gives a little bit more of a translucent pop to it. And then on the outside, you have our billet face plates bolted on. So the stainless are on the inside, then you have the actual 4-link material, the bar, the metal of that, and then you have on top are these billet face plates that are all polished out, as you can see, obviously. Super clean, high luster. Just something to make this stand out and be unique on its own. Let's get another look at this center cradle, frame cradle. So really the premises is that this doesn't offer any type of, you know, obviously performance-wise, this is looks, personalization. And people want their suspension to stand out and look the part of whatever they're trying to accomplish with color and offsetting plates and stuff like that. These traction bars are a full floating traction bar, so they're affixed in a position at the axle. But if you follow up here to the frame mount, you have a pivoting section right here, and that allows the traction bar to float at its own to match the axle. But when you get on the gas, and to keep the axle from wrapping up, pinion rotating up under acceleration with torque, the traction bar is going to lock in place and basically stop it from rolling up and creating axle wrap chatter and what have you. Since we're talking about axle wrap and driveline angle issues and stuff like that with axle wrap, just so we're aware, this 8-inch kit does not require any driveline modifications. So still factory driveline in the rear, factory driveline up front, and we're sitting at 8 inches. So let's talk about the wheels and tires. These wheels are by KG1 forged, and they're a 26 by 16. They are deep, as you can see there. They have a really, really deep lip. And then I'm not sure of the model design, but I'm sure you can go to the KG1 Forge website and find them on there, but these things are really nice. And then the tires are by Fury, and they're basically a 35 when you do the math, but they're a metric size tire, which is a 405/30/26. But like I said, when you do the math, it comes out to be about a 35. And obviously, I didn't do the math on the width, but they're wide. I mean, these wheels are 16 wide, so you're probably talking, the tire is probably a 15-inch tread pattern, 15.5 tread pattern. Big. Now, for the viewers that are saying, oh, these tires are only 35s, they're super wide, that's not the look that I'm looking for, but you find the value in this size lift, in this setup of a lift, you can simply put a less width wheel with a taller diameter tire. So previously this truck was sitting on 8 inches and we had a 40 underneath it. You can go back into our YouTube videos and you can quickly find that there is this silver truck on a set of black wheels on an 8-inch kit, and that one's running 40s. So if you're into more of that look, I would say go over to that other video and go watch that one. And what I'll do also is I'll put a link in the description so you can go straight to it, because I know this is not, I mean, that's the greatest thing about these trucks and building them, is that we're very, very diverse in what we find in the community of how they prefer their truck. Some people like them, you know, the tire set up low and wide, more boxier, like this one right here. And then some people like them taller, more sidewall. That other one that's got 40s underneath it does have, I want to say, if I remember correctly, a 22 or 24-inch wheel. That might be 22. So it does have a lot more sidewall to it. So if you prefer that look, highly advise to go over and look at that Ford YouTube video with this 8-inch kit on it, same truck. Let's talk about the scaling feature. Another thing that we're really proud of is that if you have scaling on your truck, we don't demand that you buy another, you know, bracket kit or whatever. This kit comes with the bracket you see there that goes to the upper 4-link arm itself, and then you still utilize that scaling feature. So that still works. That's the front. Let's show you the rear. The bracket's still in place on the rear and the arm, so you don't lose that. And scaling feature is basically it you know, adjusts your headlights, and it also helps out with ride, like giving you an understanding of ride height on your display on your when you're towing something and whatnot. So it's a cool feature that these trucks come with, and the kit comes with the bracketry to utilize that. And if you don't have it, you just simply don't put the bracket on when you install the kit. Pretty straightforward. I'll go over a couple other little things real quick here. One thing that I do want to note is that on the front bumper, for clearance reasons, the thing's only got 35s, but because they're so wide, the wheel's so wide, coming outwards when it turns and swings, you have to have clearance, because this edge right here ends up going into the bumper. So if you notice here, we didn't cut anything on the actual metal of the bumper. That's all factory still, nothing. You'll see here that this is sliced at an angle, just sliced nice and clean. Let me go over to the other side. You can see that a little bit better there. But I do want to note two more things about this, that this is not a factory lower spoiler. This is a trimmer lower spoiler, because the factory one would hang down pretty aggressively further. But these ones are a little bit more low profile. They look more sleek. So we just got that from the Ford dealership. Another thing to make this fitment work, if you notice here, the fender comes down, rolls down, and there's a little bit of a difference between the front bumper and that fender. That's because we have a 1/2 inch bumper spacer to put the bumper out another 1/2 inch further than what it would be factory. So between the bumper spacer, this trimmer lower valance, and it trimmed just a corner, that's how we're achieving the clearance for these big wide tires. And that is the same setup as we had on the 40s as well. So pretty similar. Overall, this is a really, really good looking truck, especially if you're looking to achieve a look like this. Our kit definitely is going to get you there. If you guys have any questions about it, you're more than welcome to comment down below. I'll do my best to, watch those questions and answer back as much as possible. But I do advise, if you do have questions about our product, the best way to reach out to me directly. I handle all the social media, so Instagram or Facebook, you can DM on there at McGaughys profiles. That's a better way of doing it, because YouTube, unfortunately, they don't really alert us on comments as frequently, or at least the second comment if you start a conversation, which I kind of don't like. But I just want to make you aware of that in case something goes to where it goes unseen or unreplied to. Just go over to our social media. We're definitely active on there, and you can shoot us a DM, or you can call our offices here at the building, and we can help you out as well. Find yourself a dealer to purchase the product or have it installed as well. Either way, we're more than happy to help you out. Like always, I appreciate everyone's support with our product and tagging us on social media and showing off your trucks. So keep that going. Definitely love that. And we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.